Hi, welcome to my video of everything you need to know about the next Grand Theft Auto. Now, first of all, I'm going to let you know about the facts and what we know, and then everything else is going to be rumours and speculation. So first of all, what do we know? Well, Rockstar Games, they did a new newswire the other day where they did a whole breakdown of upgrades to, well, the next gen upgrade of GTA 5, all of that kind of stuff. But the really interesting thing is at the bottom where it says what's next. They said with the unprecedented longevity of GTA 5, we know many of you have been asking all about the new entry in the Grand Theft Auto series. With every new project we embark on, our goal is always to significantly move beyond what we have previously delivered. That's the first interesting takeaway for when we talk about the rumours, speculations, and leaks that have come out, because there's been GTA 6 leaks since GTA 5 came out. Years they've been going on for. But they did say, we are pleased to confirm that active development for the next entry in the Grand Theft Auto series is well underway. We look forward to sharing more as soon as we are ready, so please stay tuned to Rockstar Newswire for all of the official details. Obviously, I'm going to give you my opinion and my spin on all of this kind of thing. The first interesting thing to take away, other than them obviously significantly moving beyond what they've previously delivered, is that they don't actually mention Grand Theft Auto 6. They just say the next entry in the Grand Theft Auto series. I mean, you and I, we could presume that it's GTA 6, but the thing is that could they just do almost like a reboot and just call it Grand Theft Auto? Because they're at that point in terms of it being the most biggest franchise where you don't really have to put a number or a title on it other than Grand Theft Auto. They're going to release it, and even if it says Grand Theft Auto, you're still going to know that it's the new one, because all the hype around it and just because of how big Grand Theft Auto as a franchise is. The next thing is that they could put obviously a different title next to it. We've seen that loads of times before. Most people's most favourite, most beloved GTA game is San Andreas. You know, that's not a titled game. We had Vice City as well. We've had Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories, all of those games as well. So it could be Grand Theft Auto, the name of the place, Grand Theft Auto 6, or just Grand Theft Auto. I'd say it's safe to assume Grand Theft Auto 6. I mean, why wouldn't they? It's been such a long way anyway. It's always good just having that number there, and it's easier than just trying to work out what the name or title. So I think it's probably still GTA 6. The third takeaway here is that the development for the series is well underway, which means that we could be seeing it fairly soon. I'd say this comes out before the next Elder Scrolls game, which still, when's that meant to come out? Like 2026? Crazy. Ages away. That's what we know, which in terms of the facts is really little. So we know that the next Grand Theft Auto game is in development, well underway in development. It's not just pre-development or anything like that at all. So those are the facts. Now let's go down the rabbit hole of all the speculation, all of the rumours as well. I want to go to this website called Game Rants. Nicola Jean Capron has done a really good rumour story here. So there's a leaker that's claimed here to reveal GTA 6 radio station songs. So it all goes on to say, obviously, about the music being really important in GTA games and all of that. So this comes from Twitter user GTA 6 News and Leaks, and they obviously cover GTA 6 news, rumours, speculation, all of that kind of stuff. And they recently translated a tweet that claimed to have discovered 4 songs that's going to feature in the next Grand Theft Auto. According to the whole translation that's mentioned in this article, the original poster, I'll give them credit obviously, is Matthew Victor BR. They found 2 songs in a fragment of radio, seemingly dubbed familiar. So the songs were Domino Dancing by Pet Shop Boys, Odessa and Nonsense Youth, and Numb from Rihanna, Eminem. The interesting thing with this, to me, here's the original tweet, is that based on just hearing stories of video game development, music and all of that kind of stuff in terms of like in-game radio stations, that kind of thing, that usually comes in later on in development when everything, all the main kind of game stuff is pretty much all done. Add the music in. So if this is anything to go by, GTA 6, next Grand Theft Auto, is well underway, more than some might think. And with that, I'd say this game could well be a couple of years off, definitely. I was going to say that Rockstar like to polish their games. Obviously, GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, not the case. But when you look at like Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA 5, when that came out, although it was very buggy at launch with the online mode when that came out, they do really spend so much time polishing their games. Red Dead Redemption 2, most definitely. So I can see them spending a really, really long time polishing the game. So maybe the game is actually nearly finished and they just want to polish it, go over it, and all of that kind of thing. Finally, we'll go to Games Radar. Sam Leveridge has put a whole article breaking down all of the rumours, speculation that's been going on for ages. It goes on about when could the release date be. It says here, it's just breaking it down here, sometime in 2025. There was also an earlier rumour that's mentioned here that Sam mentions that GTA 6 could launch in October 2023. I think what's likely is, with the development being well underway, I think we could see Grand Theft Auto 6, whatever they're going to call it, revealed this year. And I know that probably sounds really kind of, I don't know, almost a bit out there. Like, how could it? Well, they've got to reveal it sometime. And from my memory, this is literally not going off what I've seen, although there are some announcements and release dates there of previous GTA games. But usually, from what I remember, Rockstar announces a game, they do a really good sort of teaser trailer, early trailer, show it off, and then usually they say it's going to come out the following year. And then from my memory, it gets delayed a couple of times. So I think they could do a teaser this year to come out at the end of 2023. Then they do a more bigger trailer next year, story trailer or something, really go into the main protagonists, all of that kind of stuff. And then they delay it till I'd say spring 2024, and then it's delayed again. And I think we'll get GTA 6 at the end of 2024. That's my speculation. That's what I think. I think that's quite a good bet. I don't think it will come out next year. But I think 2024 will be the year of Grand Theft Auto 6, definitely. If not 2024, most definitely 2025, but I'm going to put all my bets on 2024. That's when that's going to be happening. Obviously, one of the biggest rumours that come around is what will the setting be? So before we get into this, I've been thinking about obviously past GTA games. GTA 3, that was set in Liberty City. GTA 4 was obviously, Liberty City again, with at that time the next gen at the time. Features obviously the HD era. That was the first GTA HD, from what I remember anyway. Yeah, GTA 4 was, and it was obviously a much more bigger, much more broader Liberty City. We've seen that the same way with San Andreas, where obviously Grand Theft Auto San Andreas featured, funnily enough, San Andreas, and then GTA 5 again featured San Andreas with the current technology at the time, and obviously a lot more bigger, a lot more broader, and the surrounding areas of Los Santos and that whole area. What we haven't seen is Vice City with future current tech that we have now. We've only had, obviously, that game feature, Vice City Stories, I believe that's the name of the title, and obviously Vice City. So I think the safest bet to say is Grand Theft Auto 6 will be based on Vice City. I'd go with those rumours and speculation. It mentions here in Sam's article a modern day recreation of Vice City. That was one rumour that was later corroborated by Jason Schreier from Bloomberg. In March 2021, this was quite interesting. They did mention that. Oh yeah, that was when they that was when they mentioned of it being set in present day. But there was one that mentioned that the game would be featured all the way back sort of 1970s, 1980s, with buildings changing, degrading all the time, weather being a heavy focus as well, building your own drug empire, and that's a mechanic similar to Vice City Stories, which I didn't play. That I can find very interesting. Your vehicle function like the horse in Red Dead Redemption 2, allowing you to store equipment in the trunk, all of that kind of stuff. I think I'm really torn between whether it's going to be present day Vice City. Here's what I'm set on. The game's coming out 2024. I think it's going to be set in Vice City. What I am torn on whether it's going to be present day or it's going to be in sort of 1970s, 1980s. I did remember seeing a interview with one of the people, maybe Dan Houser, before he left Rockstar, saying that he was finding it very hard to make a GTA game in the current climate that we lived in. I'm pretty sure that was a good 4 or 5 years ago. I read that somewhere. So it kind of makes sense that if they were going to do a GTA, they would go back and do it in 1970s, 1980s, and they can have more satire based around that as well. The other thing that I think seems to kind of corroborate this stuff is if we go back to the community update, they say that obviously with every new project we embark on, our goal is to always significantly move beyond what we have previously delivered, which you'd expect, obviously. But in terms of moving beyond in GTA, you'd want them to take what they learn in terms of the NPC and the interacting with NPCs and everything, and just how immersive Red Dead Redemption 2 was, build on that for the next Grand Theft Auto. So stuff like here saying your vehicle function like your horse from Red Dead Redemption 2, allowing you to store equipment in the trunk and all of that kind of stuff, rather than it all being on your character. Obviously making a lot more realistic and immersive. I can see them doing that, and that kind of, I don't know, goes next to what they've said in that tiny little bit of information in their article. So I think that's definitely possible. I find it interesting as well with buildings changing and degrading over time. I think that would be really good on the new current gen technology. There was another link that suggested that it was going to go back to Liberty City. I'd love that. It was going to be based around sort of reminiscent of The Wire. GTA 4 is my favourite GTA. I love that game so much. I'd love them to go back to Liberty City. But I don't think they will. I honestly think it will be Vice City. If anything, I think it will definitely be Vice City. There was also reports of London, which I just don't think is going to happen at all. Even Dan Houser, I believe Dan Houser said in an interview with The Guardian a good few years ago that he wasn't going to do a GTA set in London again, or not in the near future. There was also GTA Tokyo. I think it's definitely going to go Vice City. I think in terms of looking at the history of GTA, San Andreas GTA 5, GTA 3 Liberty City, GTA 4 Liberty City, I think it's definitely going to do that. And obviously if they have, Vice City, they can build that on the online where you can hopefully switch between San Andreas, Los Santos, and go to Vice City as well, have it like a whole other map. Next interesting thing here, what will the story be? Loads of rumours, multiple rumours, that they're going to go back to having one protagonist, a single male hero. There was a 2020 Reddit leak that suggested, obviously, it's set in 1970s, 80s, feature a single male protagonist who's an up-and-coming drug lord wannabe named Ricardo. Another key character called Casey is part of a narrative as well. You start off with Grunt doing runs as a cocaine smuggler from Vice City. Loads of rumours seem to always point, most of them, back to Vice City. And there's a lot of this, even if it's not set in the 1970s or 80s, there's a lot of this going back to the whole having your own drug empire and building that empire. So I think it's a safe bet to assume that that will be a big mechanic in whatever the next Grand Theft Auto will be, because there's so many speculation, rumors, and leaks that seem to be pointing that direction. And Vice City, I think, is a really good setting for sort of a drug empire and that kind of thing. So I think that is accurate. It's hard to tell with the protagonist. I think maybe they'll do a single protagonist and they'll obviously hone in to like what made Arthur so likable in Red Dead Redemption 2 and just take that that immersion that you had when you were Arthur in Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm not saying they're going to copy and paste that character, but just taking the way when you were playing that game as Arthur, you could interact with pretty much everything in the world around you. I think obviously they'll take that, have a single hero, and then learn from the character building from Red Dead Redemption 2 and the mechanics of that character, and put that into GTA. I think that is pretty accurate. There was an earlier leak that said it would feature 4 main characters, 2 police and 2 gang members. I'm not sure that they will do that. Another leak from June 2021 saying that the modern day Vice City version will feature multiple protagonists as well. Again, they could potentially do multiple protagonists. I think actually maybe they will. I mean, going back to the whole significantly moving beyond what they previously delivered, if they have multiple protagonists and they take what they've learned in terms of the interacting with NPCs and the world around you from Arthur's character of Red Dead 2 and put into this, I think that'll definitely be really, really good. So if it's a single one, if it's multiple characters, protagonists that you play as, I don't mind. I think it'll be really good. I'm going to say they might go back to single protagonist. That's just how I'm feeling about all of this. Obviously, there's stuff what's been said on the record. We don't know what GTA 6 will be. They've got some ideas. We've got about 45 worth of ideas of what to do. We'll pick the right ones. Just general stuff that people say in interviews, really. And then just stuff like saying, will there be a GTA 6 release on PC and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's all the stuff that Sam's put together on here. I think to break down everything, this is my predictions of all of the rumours and speculation that we've had about GTA 6 or the next Grand Theft Auto. I think it will be called Grand Theft Auto 6. They could easily just put a city name next to it or just call it Grand Theft Auto. But I think the hype around mainline title, I mean, they're all mainline titles, but just saying Grand Theft Auto 6 is finally happening, I think, that's a good starting point, easy starting point with all the marketing as well. And you're not going to confuse people thinking, oh, is it mainline? Is it a spin-off thing for online or something like that? No, this is Grand Theft Auto 6. I think they'll do that. I think what they'll do is they'll just update the GTA Online, have that as its own component, and just update it alongside Grand Theft Auto 6, bringing whatever new map into GTA Online. The next thing, I think, is release date. I think it will come out in 2024. We'll see it this year. We'll get a teaser. We'll get the title. Maybe they'll pull up a photo of like the main protagonist or something like that on Rockstar Newswire. They did sort of similar kind of stuff with when they started promoting Red Dead Redemption 2. So I think we'll get a logo first, a picture of a character or a few characters, and then we'll get the trailer this year. Slated to come out end of next year. It'll get delayed again. It'll come out end of 2024. That's what I'm going to say. I think it's going to be set in Vice City. It's so hard to say whether it's going to be set in the past or present. Maybe present. I'll say present because then it's easier with GTA Online. You're not going back through different time periods. You can just keep that all almost like a shared universe, really. So I'm going to say it's present day. It's going to have a big sort of drug empire, which is going to be a big mechanic in the story. and the way you build that empire and the way you look after it would be similar to like the camp mechanic in Red Dead Redemption 2, maybe. And I'm gonna say single protagonists. Jason Schreier people have sort of said that they've heard reports that it's going to be multiple. I'm going to say single. I wouldn't be surprised if it is multiple. I'd still be happy with this. One important thing to know, though, about Grand Theft Auto 6 is that Dan Houser, who's sort of one of the main writers of all of the past GTA games and Rockstar games in general, one of the founding members as well of Rockstar, he's left Rockstar Games. So it'll be interesting to see what Grand Theft Auto is like without him, without his characters, without his writing. It'll be interesting to see. But I'm so excited for GTA 6. I really can't wait. I'm really excited. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I'll have another video up on here with all the latest gaming news. I've got a few reviews coming out soon as well. Even movie reviews are coming soon. So make sure you keep subscribed to this page. And yeah, there's a lot more coming. But let me know below all what you think. What do you think about Grand Theft Auto 6? What do you think it's going to be? Is there any rumours that you think are accurate or true? Is there anything that I've said that you think is complete utter bollocks and you don't think it's going to happen at all? Just let me know, and I'll see you again soon.